What's going on, everyone? So the Lakers are working on a potential 10-day contract for veteran guard Sterling Brown, according to Shams of the Stadium and The Athletic. Now, before you guys are all like, another guard, we're going to sign another guard. Well, we talked about yesterday how the Lakers were looking at several guards. Tyler Dorsey is one of those guards, but it didn't make a lot of sense, right? Like, why do we need more guards? Well, we got a report today. Austin Reeves and Lonnie Walker are out for at least 2 weeks. So that makes a little more sense. And where Sterling Brown kind of fits the mold of a Lonnie Walker and Austin Reeves. He's a 6'5" shooting guard, small forward. Although he's played pretty much shooting guard his entire career, except for one stint, one season in 2019-2020, where he played small forward for the Milwaukee Bucks. And he averaged basically 5 points a game in 15 minutes. So nothing like really shocking, nothing really standout-ish. But you know, he's a guy that's in that mold of Lonnie Walker, Austin Reeves, kind of got similar size, similar length. So I guess that makes sense in that regard. Get somebody like him or like a Tyler Dorsey to come in. Also, the hope is shooting, right? Hopefully you could get this guy who could be a three-point shooter. Now, he's not like a lights-out, standout three-point shooter. He shoots 36% for his career. Last year with the Dallas Mavericks, he was only around 30%. And so he's not somebody that's like hugely stand out. He was four a game. But in 2020, 2021, he actually shot 4 attempts per game with Houston and actually was 42% that year. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. And that was his largest volume year when it came to three-point shooting. So I don't know if it's maybe he just needs more looks to kind of get going. That's a real possibility. But yeah, he shot 42% on the most attempts he had taken for his career with the Houston Rockets. And look, Sterling Brown, again, he's a guy he's not jumping off the page, right? He's a role guy at best. But he has had moments, and he is still relatively young. He's 27 years old. So he's not like, it's not like he can't get better. It's not like he can't improve. I don't think he's going to go from being like, you know, an average guy to all of a sudden like he's this huge star for the Lakers. But, you know, maybe he could have a couple bright moments. Maybe at least if he's just weathering the storm while we wait on Lonnie Walker and Austin Reeves to get back. But I don't hate this signing. It wasn't really one that I thought of. You know, I still want Mo Harkless. I still kind of am leaning towards Mo Harkless. Like, let's go get Mo Harkless. But I do understand you want to go get kind of that production for Austin Reeves and Lonnie Walker, right? You need somebody in that mold. I just think, like, even Mo Harkless, though, he's just bigger. And I understand that you're hoping that Sterling Brown can knock down threes. Now, obviously, the Lakers worked all these guys out. So maybe Sterling Brown had a great workout. You know, maybe he was knocking down some threes. He looked good. He was able to move. Like, that could be a real possibility. So that's something of interesting. But beyond Sterling Brown potentially getting a contract, a lot of people favorite free agent Lakers signing may actually be coming to the Lakers, and that is DeMarcus Cousins. So the Lakers are working out DeMarcus Cousins, and he has, based on reports, been working like a madman, reported 6 days a week to try to get back to the NBA, according to Chris Haynes. And, I mean, look, I prefer Hassan Whiteside, and I've said this on several occasions, just because DeMarcus Cousins, poor guy can't stay healthy. I love Cousins. I've always loved Cousins. He's an absolute dog. He's that giant pit bull that everyone's afraid of, right? And I love that guy. But he can be a head case at times. I mean, even the owner of the Golden State Warriors basically told, you know, hey, like, look, this is the problem. Like, you people are afraid of what you're going to do. But maybe that was a humbling experience, right? He was great for the Denver Nuggets, but the problem he had with Denver Nuggets was he couldn't play more than like 10 minutes a game because when he did, he was either injured or he'd have to be out for like 2 or 3 games, right? So I don't know if maybe he's working out every day to kind of just try to get back into the swing of things. So I don't know if that's a possibility. Maybe if he's putting his head down, he's getting on the grind, and that will get him right, get his body right, get everything kind of more in order for him to maybe actually make an impact. Because I mean, look, he would help a lot, right? Like he's a guy that absolutely can make an impact on both sides of the floor at times. But he's not a guy that you can really lean on, is my problem, right? Like I feel like until we know what's going on with Anthony Davis, it would be nice to have a guy that we could lean heavily on, play next to Thomas Bryant if we wanted to, which we can. I mean, DeMarcus Cousins could spread the floor, so could Thomas Bryant, so you could run them together. Even when Anthony Davis comes back, you could run DeMarcus Cousins, Anthony Davis, right? Like, they've played together. So that is something that could absolutely happen. But, like, somebody like Hassan Whiteside, like, you could count on for 20 minutes a game if you need to. I don't know if you could do that for DeMarcus Cousins. And he's not going to give you the shot blocking or just the lateral movement, which is a concern of mine. But again, we'll see how the workout goes, right? If the Lakers work him out and he's great, he's moving well and stuff, maybe he does do better. I mean, he had some solid games with the Denver Nuggets last season, and it was a big shock that Denver didn't bring him back because he was really good for Denver. But again, it was just the head case things. It was can't rely on you and count on you, right? And it's just like you're always injured. It's like, like, do we really want a roster spot for that? But in the Lakers situation, kind of need it right now. And if it works out, then you could bring him back. And obviously, he had a stint with the Lakers. So you have a guy that, is familiar with the Lakers organization. He has relationships with LeBron and Davis and everybody. Obviously, DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis played with the Pelicans together, so that really helps too. And look, Russell Westbrook, DeMarcus Cousins, imagine that pick and roll or that pick and pop. It'd be beautiful. It'd be beautiful. The chemistry that Russ has with him, like it would be great. Like I don't know. I have my reservations. I have my concerns. But to be fair, I have my same reservations and concerns about Hassan Whiteside, right? He's a head case. Can he buy in? But Hassan Whiteside gives you a lot of things that we need in like the sense of shot blocking, rebounding, that lob threat, which you see like Russ, he likes to kind of get it high to them at times, especially LeBron likes the lob pass, likes the lob threat, likes to throw it high for the big man to go just get up and get it. Can't really do that with DeMarcus Cousins. Although Russ with his little like wrap around, or like, just kind of shovel pass. But those bounce passes, is he going to be able to really get down and get those? I don't know. It's going to come down to how healthy he is, how mobile is he. If he's just kind of a big body out there right now, I don't know. It kind of makes it tough. But, the whole point of 10-day contracts are, low risk, high reward, right? Like the idea is, okay, well, if we sign this player, we got him for 10 days, we test it out. If it works, you give him another 10 days. And then if it works, you give him a contract, right? Like you basically try him out for a month. If you don't like him after a month, you let him go and, no hard feelings, all is right in the world. But if it does work out, then, you got a role player or impact guy. DeMarcus Cousins, he's not very old. Like, he's still only 32 years old. So, it's not like he's some dude that's just like, like he's just too old to amount to anything. He's not 36. So, that's something that also kind of is, I guess, in his favor, in his corner, that he's still young enough to where he could have an impact. And, I mean, look, the guy is incredible, right? He's a really solid player, a really solid just guy, and it's unfortunate what's happened to him, right? A guy that even after all, like the last, 3 years, 4 years, something like that, he's been like a 7-point a game guy. He still has 19 points a game average for his career because the guy was so dominant. That dude was incredible. His Sacramento days and stuff was just watching him. It was just orchestra, right? Like, and then like when he went to the Pelicans, it was like, oh man, like this could be something. and it looked like it was going to, and then he got hurt, and it was like, oh man, it sucked. It really did. It sucked. But then he comes to the Lakers, and he was kind of the odd man out, injured, and so I want to see him succeed. I do. I want to see him have success. And last season, I mean, he didn't have terrible stats in limited time. So he played about 14 minutes a game on average in 31 games. So again, he can't play, and that was like pushing it. But in that time, to his credit, he averaged 9 points and 5 rebounds. So he was contributing out there. And like I said, he had a good year that year. And one of the things that is really like underrated about DeMarcus Cousins is that he's a very good passer. Like that's something that really doesn't get noticed. Like you can run schemes through him. Like you can run sets through him, which I think is a very underrated element about DeMarcus Cousins, and that a lot of people don't really mention enough. I feel like his whole career, the dude has been dropping dimes. Like he's had some nice little highlight pass plays. So that's something as well. But I just think if Cousins can stay healthy, and when Anthony Davis comes back, we only need him to play probably 15 minutes a game at most. Like we don't need him to be like a 20 point a game or 20 minute a game guy. But I kind of feel like right now we could use that. You know what I mean? Like it would be very helpful to know like, hey, we could play Cousins 20 minutes if we want to. Granted, Thomas Bryant's been playing so well, but you don't want to burn him out. Having him play 40 minutes a game. He just, he came back from injury. He missed almost the entire season last season. And then, the first quarter of the season we've played so far this season. So it's like, you don't want to burn him out. So and we need size. We need a big man. We need help, right? DeMarcus Cousins does a lot. DeMarcus Cousins does a lot of the things that many people want for Miles Turner, right? Like a big that can spread the floor, big that can, shoot it from anywhere, that can play alongside Anthony Davis, allow Davis to play the 4, all of those things, right? Like that's huge. Also, DeMarcus Cousins gives us like a bit of toughness, a bit of size that we don't have even with Anthony Davis. Like, DeMarcus Cousins would be great and maybe even better than Whiteside for like the Embiids, the Jokers, the big sort of brawly type of center. So that's something else that you could add to that. Russ and him could make an excellent pairing. Him and Rondo were great together. Rondo's Rondo, right? When it comes to playmaking and passing, but Russ has really developed into a solid playmaker, and Rondo really liked setting him up, and he's got good hands. And you have Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook comes in with that heat, that fire. It'd be nice to have somebody. You see our bigs fumble the ball all the time because it comes in. I think DeMarcus Cousins, he'd be able to handle that. He'd understand that. And if they can build that connection, you could run all kinds of pick and rolls, pick and pops. Russ getting downhill, just wrapping it around to DeMarcus Cousins for the slam. Like, I could see DeMarcus Cousins having an impact. I just worry about the main 3 things. I just worry about his headspace, him getting too wild, getting too crazy, him being able to play more than 10, 12 minutes a game, and him being able to stay on the court and stay healthy, because the last thing we need is a guy that's in and out of the lineup every other day. So that's all stuff that I keep in mind, but I'm all for it. Look, if they sign Sterling Brown and DeMarcus Cousins, bring them on. I'm with it. But how do you feel? As always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Are you all for DeMarcus Cousins? Are you not? Do you think, no, go get Hassan Whiteside? Do you think whatever? Again, they're just working him out. So they might, who knows? We'll see. That doesn't mean that they're going to bring him in. But again, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I still prefer Hassan Whiteside, but let's see. I'm all for let's see what DeMarcus Cousins can bring. Because if he can bring what he's capable of bringing, watch out. Watch out. He could make an impact. He might even make more of an impact than Hassan Whiteside. But again, let me know however you feel down in the comments below.